Questioner. Do you experience the three states of waking, dreaming and sleeping just as we do, or otherwise? Maharaj answers, all the three states are sleep to me. My waking state is beyond them. As I look at you, you all seem asleep, dreaming up words of your own. I am aware, for I imagine nothing. It is not samadhi, which is but a kind of sleep. It is just a state unaffected by the mind, free from the past and future. In your case, it is distorted by desire and fear, by memories and hopes. In mine, it is as it is, normal. To be a person is to be asleep. Your questioner. Between the body and pure awareness stands the inner organ, antakarana, the subtle body, the mental body, whatever the name. Just as a whirling mirror converts sunlight into manifold pattern of streaks and colors, so does the subtle body convert the simple light of the shining self into a diversified world. Thus, I have understood your teaching. What I cannot grasp is how did this subtle body arise in the first instance? Maharaj. It is created with the emergence of the I am idea. The two are one. Questioner. How did the I am appear? Maharaj. In your world, everything must have a beginning and an end. If it does not, you call it eternal. In my view, there is no such thing as beginning or end. These are all related to time. Timeless being is entirely in the now. Questioner. The antakarana, or the subtle body, is it real or unreal? Maharaj. It is momentary. Real when present, unreal when over. Questioner. What kind of reality? Is it momentary? Maharaj. Call it empirical or actual or factual. It is the reality of immediate experience here and now, which cannot be denied. You can question the description and the meaning, but not the event itself. Being and non-being alternate, and their reality is momentary. The immutable reality lies beyond space and time. Realize the momentariness of being and non-being, and be free from both. Questioner. Things may be transient, yet they are very much with us, in endless repetition. Maharaj. Desires are strong. It is desire that causes repetition. There is no recurrence where desire is not. Questioner. What about fear? Maharaj. Desire is of the past. Fear is of the future. The memory of past suffering and the fear of its recurrence make one anxious about the future. Questioner. There is also fear of the unknown. Maharaj. Who has not suffered is not afraid. Questioner. We are condemned to fear? Maharaj. Until we can look at fear and accept it as the shadow of personal existence, as persons, we are bound to be afraid. Abandon all personal equations and you shall be free from fear. It is not difficult. Desirelessness comes on its own when desire is recognized as false. You need not struggle with desire. Ultimately, it is an urge to happiness, which is natural as long as there is sorrow. Only see that there is no happiness in what you desire. Questioner. We settle for pleasure, Maharaj. Each pleasure is wrapped in pain. You soon discover that you cannot have one without the other. Questioner. There is the experiencer and there is his experience. What created the link between the two? Maharaj. Nothing created it. It is. The two are one. Questioner. I feel there is a catch somewhere, but I do not know where. Maharaj, the catch is in your mind, which insists on seeing duality where there is none. Questioner, as I listen to you, my mind is all in the now, and I am astonished to find myself without questions. Maharaj, you can know reality only when you are astonished. Questioner, I can make out that the cause of anxiety and fear is memory. What are the means for putting an end to memory? Maharaj, don't talk of means. There are no means. What you see as false dissolves. It is the very nature of illusion to dissolve on investigation. Investigate, that is all. You cannot destroy the false, for you are creating it all the time. Withdraw from it, ignore it. Go beyond and it will cease to be. Questioner, Christ also speaks of ignoring evil and being childlike. Maharaj, reality is common to all. Only the false is personal. Questioner, as I watch the sadhakas and inquire into the theories by which they live, I find they have merely replaced material cravings by spiritual ambitions. From what you tell us, it looks as if the words spiritual and ambition are incompatible. If spirituality implies freedom from ambition, what will urge the seeker on? The yogis speak of the desire for liberation as essential. Is it not the highest form of ambition? Maharaj, ambition is personal. Liberation is from the personal. In liberation, both the subject and the object of ambition are no longer. Earnestness is not a yearning for the fruit of one's endeavors. It is an expression of an inner shift of interest away from the false, unessential, the personal. Questioner, you told us the other day that we cannot even dream of perfection before realization, for the self is the source of all perfection and not the mind. If it is not excellence in virtue that is essential for liberation, then what is? Maharaj, liberation is not the result of some means skillfully applied, nor of circumstances. It is beyond the causal process. Nothing can compel it. Nothing can prevent it. Questioner, then why are we not free here and now? Maharaj, but we are free here and now. It is only the mind that imagines bondage. Questioner, what will put an end to imagination? Maharaj, why should you want to put an end to it? Once you know your mind and its miraculous powers, and remove what poisoned it, the idea of a separate and isolated person, you just leave it alone to do its work among things to which it is well suited. To keep the mind in its own place and on its own work is the liberation of the mind. Questioner, what is the work of the mind? Maharaj, the mind is the wife of the heart and the world their home, to be kept bright and happy. Questioner, I have not yet understood why. If nothing stands in the way of liberation, it does not happen here now. Maharaj, nothing stands in the way of your liberation, and it can happen here and now, but for your being more interested in other things. And you cannot fight with your interests. You must go with them, see through them, and watch them reveal themselves as mere errors of judgment and appreciation. Questioner, will it not help me if I go and stay with some great and holy man? Maharaj, great and holy people are always within your reach, but you do not recognize them. How will you know who is great and holy? By hearsay? Can you trust others in these matters? Or even yourself? To convince you beyond the shadow of doubt, you need more than a commendation, more even than a momentary rapture. You may come across a great and holy man or woman and not even know for a long time your good fortune. The infant son of a great man for many years will not know the greatness of his father. You must mature to recognize greatness and purify your heart for holiness. or you'll spend your time and money in vain and also miss what life offers you. There are good people among your friends. You can learn much from them. Running after saints is merely another game to play. Remember yourself instead and watch your daily life relentlessly. Be earnest, and you shall not fail to break the bonds of inattention and imagination. Questioner: do you want me to struggle all alone? Maharaj: you are never alone. There are powers and presences who serve you all the time most faithfully. You may or may not perceive them, nevertheless they are real and active. When you realize that all is in your mind and that you are beyond the mind, then you are truly alone. Then all is you. Questioner: what is omniscience? Is God omniscient? Are you omniscient? We hear the expression universal witness. What does it mean? Does self-realization imply omniscience, or is it a matter of specialized training? Maharaj: to lose entirely all interest in knowledge results in omniscience. It is but the gift of knowing what needs to be known at the right moment for error-free action. After all, knowledge is needed for action, and if you act rightly, spontaneously, without bringing in the conscious, so much the better. Questioner: can one know the mind of another person? Maharaj: know your own mind first. It contains the entire universe, and with space to spare. Questioner: your working theory seems to be that the waking state is not basically different from dream and the dreamless sleep. The three states are essentially a case of mistaken self-identification with the body. Maybe it is true, but I feel it is not the whole truth. Maharaj: do not try to know the truth, for knowledge by the mind is not true knowledge. But you can know what is not true, which is enough to liberate you from the false. The idea that you know what is true is dangerous, for it keeps you imprisoned in the mind. It is when you do not know that you are free to investigate. And there can be no salvation without investigation, because non-investigation is the main cause of bondage. Questioner: you say that the illusion of the world begins with the sense I am. But when I ask about the origin of the sense of I am, you answer that it has no origin. For on investigation it dissolves. But what is solid enough to build the world on cannot be more mere illusion. The I am is the only changeless factor I am conscious of. How can it be false? Maharaj: it is not the I am that is false, but what you take yourself to be. I can see beyond the least shadow of doubts that you are not what you believe yourself to be, logic or no logic. You cannot deny the obvious. You are nothing that you are conscious of. Apply yourself diligently to pulling apart the structure you have built in your mind. What the mind has done, the mind must undo. Questioner: you cannot deny the present moment, mind or no mind. What is now is. You may question the appearance, but not the fact. What is at the root of the fact? Maharaj: the I am is at the root of all appearance and the permanent link in the succession of events that we call life. But I am beyond the I am. Questioner: I found that the realized people usually describe their state in terms borrowed from their religion. You happen to be Hindu, so you talk of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva and use Hindu approaches and imagery. Kindly tell us, what is the experience behind your words? What reality do you refer to? Maharaj: it is my way of talking, a language I was taught to use. Questioner: but what is behind the language? Maharaj: how can I put into words except in negating them? Therefore, I use words like timeless, spaceless, causeless. These too are words, but as they are empty of meaning, they suit my purpose. Questioner. If they are meaningless, why use them? Maharaj. Because you want words where no words apply. Questioner. I can see your point. Again, you have robbed me of my question. Questioner. Once I had a strange experience. I was not, nor was the world. There was only light, within and without, and immense peace. This lasted for 4 days, and then I returned to the everyday consciousness. Now I have a feeling that all I know is merely a scaffolding, covering and hiding the building under the construction, the architect, the design, the plans, the purpose. Nothing I know. Some activity is going on. Things are happening. That is all I can say. I am that scaffolding, something very flimsy and short-lived. When the building is ready, the scaffolding will be dismantled and removed. The I am and the what I am are of no importance, because once the building is ready, the I will go, as a matter of course, leaving no questions about itself to answer. Maharaj, are you not aware of all this? Is not the fact of awareness the constant factor? Questioner. My sense of permanency and identity is due to memory, which is so evanescent and unreliable. How little I remember, even of the recent past. I've lived a lifetime, and now what is left with me? A bundle of events, at best a short story. Maharaj. All this takes place within your consciousness. Questioner. Within and without, in daytime within, in the night without. Consciousness is not all. So many things happen beyond its reach. To say that what I am not conscious of does not exist is altogether wrong. Maharaj, what you say is logical, but actually you know only what is in your consciousness. What you claim exists outside consciousness, out of conscious experience, is inferred. Questioner. It may be inferred, and yet it is more real than the sensory. Maharaj, be careful. The moment you start talking, you create a verbal universe, a universe of words, ideas, concepts, and abstractions, interwoven and interdependent, most wonderfully generating, supporting, and explaining each other, and yet all without essence or substance. Mere creations of the mind. Words create words. Reality is silent. Questioner. When you talk, I hear you. Is it not a fact? Maharaj. That you hear is a fact. What you hear is not. The fact can be experienced, and in that sense the sound of the word and the mental ripples it causes are experienced. There is no other reality behind it. Its meaning is purely conventional, to be remembered. A language can be easily forgotten unless practiced. Questioner. If words have no reality in them, why talk at all? Maharaj. They serve their limited purpose of interpersonal communication. Words do not convey facts, they signal them. Once you are beyond the person, you need no words. Questioner. What can take me beyond the person? How to go beyond consciousness? Maharaj. Words and questions come from the mind and hold you there. To go beyond the mind, you must be silent and quiet. Peace and silence, silence and peace. This is the way beyond. Stop asking questions. Questioner. Once I gave up asking questions, what am I to do? Once I give up asking questions, what am I to do? Maharaj. What can you do but wait and watch? Questioner. What am I to wait for? Maharaj. For the center of your being to emerge into consciousness. The 3 states, sleeping, dreaming, and waking, are all in consciousness, the manifested. What you call unconsciousness will also be manifested in time. Beyond consciousness altogether lies the unmanifested, and beyond all and pervading all is the heart of being which beats steadily. Manifested, unmanifested, manifested, unmanifested. Saguna, nirguna. Questioner. On the verbal level, it sounds all right. I can visualize myself as a seed of being, a point in consciousness, with my sense I am pulsating, appearing and disappearing alternately. But what am I to do to realize it as a fact, to go beyond into the changeless, wordless reality? Maharaj, you can do nothing. What time has brought about, time will take away. Questioner. Why then all these exhortations to practice yoga and seek reality? They make me feel empowered and responsible, while in fact it is time that does all. Maharaj, this is the end of yoga, to realize independence. All that happens in and to the mind, not to the source of I am. Once you realize that all happens by itself, call it destiny or the will of God or mere accident, you remain as witness only, understanding and enjoying, but not perturbed. Questioner. If I cease trusting words altogether, what will be my condition? Maharaj. There is a season for trusting and for distrusting. Let the seasons do their work. Why worry? Questioner. Somehow I feel responsible for what happens around me. Maharaj. You are responsible only for what you can change. All you can change is only your attitude. There lies your responsibility. Questioner. You are advising me to remain indifferent to the sorrows of others? Maharaj. It is not that you are indifferent. All the sufferings of mankind do not prevent you from enjoying your next meal. The witness is not indifferent. He is the fullness of understanding and compassion. Only as the witness you can help another. Questioner. All my life I was fed on words. The number of words I've heard and read go into the billions. Did it benefit me? Not at all. Maharaj. The mind shapes the language and the language shapes the mind. Both are tools. Use them, but don't misuse them. Words can bring you only into their own limit. To go beyond, you must abandon them. Remain as the silent witness only. Questioner. How can I? The world disturbs me greatly. Maharaj. It is because you think yourself big enough to be affected by the world. It is not so. You are so small that nothing can pin you down. It is your mind that gets caught, not you. Know yourself as you are, a mere point in consciousness, dimensionless and timeless. You are like the point of the pencil. By mere contact with you, the mind draws its picture of the world. You are single and simple. The picture is complex and extensive. Don't be misled by the picture. Remain aware of the tiny point, which is everywhere in the picture. What is can cease to be. What is not can come to be. But what neither is nor is not, but on which being and non-being depend, is unassailable. Know yourself to be the cause of desire and fear itself, free from both. Questioner. How am I the cause of fear? Maharaj. All depends on you. It is by your consent that the world exists. Withdraw your belief in its reality and it will dissolve like a dream. Time can bring down mountains, much more you who are the timeless source of time. For without memory and expectation, there can be no time. Questioner. Is the I am the ultimate? Maharaj. Before you can say I am, you must be there to say it. Being need not be self-conscious. You need not know to be, but you must be to know. Questioner. Sir, I'm getting drowned in the sea of words. I can see that all depends on how the words are out together, but there must be someone to put them together meaningfully. By drawing words at random, the Ramayana, Mahabharata and Bhagavata could never be produced. The theory of accidental emergence is not tenable. The origin of the meaning must be behind it. What is the power that creates order out of chaos? Living is more than being, and consciousness is more than living. Who is the conscious living being? Maharaj, your question contains the answer. A conscious living being is a conscious living being. The words are most appropriate, but you do not grasp their full import. Go deep into the meaning of the words. Being, living, conscious, and you'll stop running in circles, asking questions, but missing answers. Do understand that you cannot ask a valid question about yourself because you do not know whom you are asking about. In the question, who am I? The I is not known, and the question can be worded as, I do not know what I mean by I. What you are, you must find out. I can only tell you what you are not. You are not of the world. You are not even in the world. The world is not, you alone are. You create the world in your imagination like a dream. As you cannot separate the dream from yourself, so you cannot have an outer world independent of yourself. You are independent, not the world. Don't be afraid of a world you yourself have created. Cease from looking for happiness and reality in a dream, and you will wake up. You need not know why and how. There is no need to question. Abandon all desires, keep your mind silent, and you shall discover.